Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Junni's April Plan with me. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge fan of Disney movies and I was super looking forward to this coming one, Mulan. Due to force majeure, the movie is postponed, but I still decided to do this Mulan theme for this month. So let's get started. For the cover page, I pre-cut the middle page to determine the shape of both sides, but I leave the rest here just to show you how it works. Now I'm cutting it away. On the left side, if you watch the Mulan animation, you probably remember it's a quote from the king at the end of the movie. The flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of all. As for the font, I try to learn Disney style. Capital letters are easy to mimic, but I don't think I did a good job on lowercase, so I'll be using capital for the rest of the pages. I think this could also be considered as Dutch door, and it is actually pretty interesting to make. When I did the pencil guide, I drew the girl's sides first, and because I didn't make an exact symmetric from the middle, when I roughly draw the boy side, I realized that the middle page won't be able to cover both sides, it will be too small. Luckily, I didn't cut at that time, so I had to redo for a few times until it can match both sides, except the flowers. Well, I also tried to put it on the middle page, but it'll affect the outline cutting, so I decided to leave on the left side, if that makes sense to you. Coloring the hair takes some time, so I'll probably try a different way next time. After coloring the hair, I'm going to use watercolor for the skin. Honestly, even though this notebook has really thick paper, which I think is 160 GSM, it is no good for watercolor, because it absorbs water too quickly, which makes it too hard to do any blending or paint the color evenly. And the colors sink on the other side too easily, so I have to be really careful. The color also turns out a little bit dark, but it will become normal once it gets dried. So for the rest pages, I'll mainly use a Tisa watercolor ink pen. With the experience of coloring the girl's hair, I decided to use a Tisa black pen because it has bigger brush. And then for the fake boy Mulan, of course I need to make her skin darker because she's been practicing the field under the song, and it also makes her look more tough, right? I also love the design of her eyebrow to be different when she switched the rules. So here's my cover page, and I love the Dutch door I made, just like how Mulan switching between a pretty girl and a tough soldier. For the monthly view, I've never tried to put the calendar on one side, so for this month I'm going to give it a try. I set it up 3x7 blocks of each day. It may look like not enough space for writing things, but I don't think I'll have event to mark down for April anyway, cause I'll probably still be at home for self-isolation. Since I have a little bit of space left on the corner, I'm going to draw this cute lucky cricket. On the right side, I leave enough space for taking notes because I want to make myself busy at home. And the drawing of Mulan, I'm using the animation poster where Mulan in girl's dress holding the sword, and the sword reflects herself in man's soldier suit look. I think this is a really cool design. When she holds the sword, she's a soldier, a warrior, and a hero. But when there's no war, she's just a girl who's beautiful, brave, and independent. Again, on this page, I'm going to use watercolor so I have better control of the color shades. In Disney movies, they usually use color with high situations, but I'm not sure if it'll look good here. But still, I'll test it out on the later pages. Coloring her face is not easy here. The paper absorbs paint too quickly, so that I kinda messed up her girl face. And for the boy side, I know the color looks weird, but it'll get better after drying. I also spent some time to color the sword to give it a metal texture. I think it looks good. The next is the rolling paper piece. In the Asian China, it's usually used to spread the empire's words. Do you know that in the real Chinese Mulan story, there is actually nothing about her being forced to get married? I mean, yes, at the old time, getting married seems the only way out and also probably most of the time the final ending. But her original story is more about her love to her father and the nation. Oh, and don't forget our lucky cricket. Okay, here's my monthly view page. I think I shouldn't add eyeshadow to her at the end, but I like how she looks in the boy look. Let's move on to Habit and Sleep Tracker. Last month, I didn't use my month stamp, and instead I wrote 1 to 31 for every single habit. For me, whose number handwriting is terrible, it was such a torture, and this month I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Just the easiest tracker, and I'll have Mushu to supervise me on the side, just like how he supervised Mulan in the movie. I know everyone loves Mushu, this funny dragon, but he won't be in the coming Mulan movie. But just imagine it, if he's there, it would be so funny, a CG mini dragon with red skin. Honestly, in the animation, Disney did a really good job on catching the character and the feature of Chinese dragon. As for my sleep tracker, I'm going to put it into this target. Each circle represents 2 hours and the whole thing is divided into 30 pieces. I like this design, but I don't like drawing circle without tool. Well, I try my best and I don't have OCD. And here I also have Creaky, who will be supervising me to go to bed early and get up early. Hopefully I can do better than March. Okay, it's time to color our dragon. This is my first time to use a teaser pen for the whole coloring process. Surprisingly, the paper can actually handle it and doesn't really think through, except some part that is heavily colored. The original Mushu is simply colored with red, yellow, and some blue with no different shades, but I decided to give some color gradient so it feels like more three-dimensional. Also, defining the outline with a thicker black pen helps to pop up more. I like the previous Creaky watercolored more, but I'm a little bit lazy here, so I just keep using a teaser pen, whatever color available here. And then add some red circle to make my sleep tracker more like a target. Okay, here's my habit tracker and sleep tracker supervised by Mushu and Creaky. We'll see if they do their job well at the end of this month. Now let's move on to mood tracker and brain dump. This Chinese fan design is inspired by Art and Fox. She did a really fancy one for her January bullet journal, which turned out really beautiful. Here I'm doing an easier version with 4 days crossing the whole fan and the rest days are set up on each fold. And for Mulan here, I pick her girl's look. This year, Disney is trying to create more independent princess who don't need prince to save anymore, like Elsa and Anna. But I'm so proud that Mulan is actually the first one who controls her own destiny. I'm really regret about her clothes coloring. I tried to match the original color, but due to the limitation of the choice, I ended up using the peach pink and light purple, which don't go well with each other. Well, anyway, after recording, I did a little bit fixing that you'll see in the final flip through. I'm too lazy to use words, so I'll just draw some cute face to replace. And I also colored the fan with wood color to make it more real. On the brain dump page, I'm going to simply draw some branches with 3 lamps. So recently I haven't been using brain dump page too often, so I'm considering to change it to a 1 lamp per day to match my mood tracker. So later when I look at it, I can also know why I was happy or not happy on the day. And here is how it looks like after fixing. I'm really looking forward to see how the fan will look like at the end of this month. Starting from this month, instead of doing expense tracker, I'm going to do a meal prep plan. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Basically, what it means is dedicating a block of time to batch cook ingredients and prepare full meals for the week ahead to make feeding yourself and your family easier every day. So this page will be used to write down the ingredients I need and the recipe I'm going to do for the next coming weeks. Speaking of Instagram, I just opened a new account for sketch and watercolor only, so my original account will be mainly focused on bullet journal. If you want to see more update on my BUJO plan, follow me on the first account, and if you want to see more drawing, follow the second one please. So for this month, I'm going to choose 4 different scenes from the movie for my 4 weekly spread. And the first one here is from when Mulan fails her interview with the matchmaker. She is doubting herself to be able to bring honor to the family, but her father tells her that all flowers has their own seasons. So the one who's late could be the most beautiful of all. There is a detail most people ignore in this scene. A lot of people assume the tree is cherry blossom, but Disney did its homework. The cherry blossom tree is native to Japan, but this one here is called magnolia, which is native to China. And the name magnolia is literally the translation of Mulan. So you can also say this is Mulan flower. I'm also going to continue this Disney font for the rest pages. The letters are really obvious Disney style, are I and O if you pay attention. For the tree, I start with a yellow tone brown as base and add some wood texture with red brown. And for flowers, I just randomly drop some pink with different shades. Knowing the structure of the flower petal can help. Usually the outside should be darker than the inside, and then at the end add some red in the middle to represent the core. So on this page, I actually try my best to get used to this color brush pen. Even though I have the 50 colors collection, there are still some colors that I can't find to match the original. So I have to create them by overlaying like father's clothes and Mulan's dress. At the end, it looks not as bad as expected, so I think it's good. I also use thicker pen to add some shadow to the flowers, and I like how this page turned out overall. Like always, I'm going to show you guys my rest weekly spread in this video too. So don't leave yet if you're interested in what scenes I picked for the rest weeks. Plus, I leave the best to the last page, which is my favorite of this whole month's BUJO. So, on this weekly spread, it happens to be on this really not flat page, so I decided to draw it separately and stick it on later. Here I'm showing you my coloring process. Please let me know if you like watching or not. I personally feel comfortable when I watch people doing things perfectly, just super relaxing. Of course, I don't think I'll do the same thing for my next month anymore. Because by finishing all the pages at once, it actually took me 7 hours, and I was so exhausted afterwards. So for the next month, I'm considering to do it in black and white. What do you think? I think Mulan cutting hair is one of the most classic things in the movie. It also comes with a really beautiful song. So in ancient China, women were expected to keep their hair long. Mulan cutting her hair was a symbol for her cutting herself off from tradition and people's expectations. While waiting for the centerpiece to get dried, let's work on the rest. Yes, I've learned my lessons. Don't use the Mon stamp on the center when the page is not flat, so I just do handwriting this time. Now let's refine Mulan a little bit more and give it a thicker black outline. I also thought about to black their circle background, but I eventually decided to save my black pen for later. Okay, let's move on to the next week. Here I picked the happy hug when Mulan and her partner save the empire. The big guy is my favorite. I think he's supposed to be a monk since he was saying Amitofu in the movie. I don't know, but his personality is just so peace and he's so lovely. Mulan spends the entire movie training to become physically fit and fighting against her own expectations as women in Chinese culture. At the very end of the movie, they really address the issue that both genders have their own conventions that can be useful. The soldier ends up using feminine skill to save the empire. They look pretty good in girls' dress, don't you think so? I wish Captain Xiang was also doing it too. It would be really funny. So the next weekly spread technically is not really a scene from the movie, but I think I should let Captain Xiang at least show up one more time, so I made this up. From my memory, there is supposed to be a Mulan 2 animation, and I just Google it. Yes, there is. That's why I remember a scene like they're on the way for a mission, but they have argument and something's not going right between them. Anyway, I rewatched the Mulan 1 before I make this month's bullet journal, and now while I'm doing this voiceover, I decided to watch the second one too. Finally, the last page. There are only 4 days in this week this month, so I put them on the left page and have the whole right page to do something different. The calm is like a sign through the whole movie. When her family expect her to be a good, quiet lady and get a good man to get married, she's forced to wear it. Like it's her responsibility, it's her burden, and it's also what she's supposed to do to bring the honor to the family. When her dad comfort her and put on her hair, it's like telling her you're a beautiful flower like others, but just bloom in a different time. And when she decided to join the army secretly, she put it next to her parents' bed, and basically it means that she gave up on her girl's character and she'll bring the honor to the family in a different way. I know I talked too much about the animation story, but I just really want to share with you guys about my thoughts, and please leave comments if there's anything you want to tell me. In the meanwhile, if you're also doing self-isolation at home, I hope this video could make you less bored. Or if you decide to watch the movie one more time, that would be great. Oh, by the way, the gold pen I got from Unibo is really good and it reflects the light very well. So yeah, this is my April bullet journal setup. It's a totally different style from my previous bullet journal, but I love how it turned out. I hope it's helpful or inspiring for you if you're also doing Mulan theme or Disney princess theme. Thank you for listening to me about a bunch of Mulan stuff talking. You're very welcome to leave comments to tell me how you think about her and the coming movie. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on the bell. For more updates, you can also follow me on Instagram. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing April. Stay home and be safe.